No, I don't know how to get back here. Can someone help me? Yeah, but I get by. Ah, no, I got it. Now the Kenya's vocational training system, I'm sure you know more about that. I don't need to talk about it. Um, it is now with the competency-based training on board, it's much better. It's more focusing on the practical part of a training. This is agreed, but still the training is mostly done not in companies, but the practical training is happening in the TTIs or in the VTCs or wherever. And this is for me, this is a bit an issue because you cannot, no country all over the world can finance the equipment you need to equip every TTI or every whatever in it. So you need the industry. And the, the, the equipment is one thing. The other thing is if you are trained practically in a group, and that can be in Kenya, I know it can be 20, it can be 30, it can be 50, it can be even more. How will you train someone properly in such a big group? It's not possible. You can show them, you can give some of them the task to do something, but at the end of the day, you don't have to practice. You need practice. Your hands need practice, and you cannot do that. So this is why I think it would be better to focus more on the dual training or the training in the company, practical training in the company. And that I will come later to. I think I have to hurry. People are hungry. I can see it. Okay, this is now a spotlight, just a spotlight. Thinking about Germany and Germany's industry, it's always about the industrial economy in Germany. It's about manufacturing, automotive engineering, industrial sectors, and so on. Of course, Germany has other things. We have quite a big sector in agriculture. We have a service sector. We have also jobs in hospitals and so on. But thinking about it, what people comes in, what by most people comes in mind is the industrial sector. Kenya is more tourism, is agriculture, not much industry, at least not yet. But I think we have to focus what is there. And what I always have in mind when I listen or hear about the Kenyan economy, especially Kenyan labor, unemployment rates, and so on, this is always leaving out the Juakali sector. The Juakali sector, this is 83% of Kenyans are working in the Juakali sector as fundis. Usually they don't pay taxes. They are, yes, it's true. And they are not organized. They know some skills. They have some skills. Drive along Ngong Road and you see them there. You see them building their doors, their gates and everything. Even coffins are there. And these guys are not. They know what they do, but they have let me a short. They're focusing on a special skill. They don't have the broad skill they would have if they would have been trained properly. And this is the issue. So, how can I put it? A fundi can be employed in the morning and unemployed in the afternoon. And this is something that has to be changed, if you ask me, because there are hidden talents there, people who want to do something. And I think this is something we have to focus more on. So now I would like to give you some overview of what we are doing. As AHK, we our vocational training department started in 2018, and then we implemented the first dual vocational training, the real first dual vocational training in Kenya in 2019. That was a small start. It developed a bit. They came to Kenya and did the same thing with their project, and we are cooperating with them together. And for them, we also do a lot of training of trainer courses because how to train. Now let's say you have a car mechanic. He's working in this sector for 20 years. He has a lot of experience. Now he has a trainee, but he has no idea how to train him, how to go with this training, the pedagogical and the didactical standards. He doesn't know. So what we do in this training course is we tell these people how to do that, how to train, how to develop an in-company training plan. And this is something that is important. So what we did, we introduced the system and we will stay there. We will proceed doing this, not for Germany. I'm talking now, I know where we are now. I'm talking about doing this for Kenya, for Kenyan companies, and for German companies who want to come to Kenya and do business here. So these companies, these German companies, know in Kenya is our dual training system. When we go there, we will find the people we need for our companies, for our branches there. This is why we do that and why we will proceed doing that. Parallel now, we have, this is now changing all the time. Parallel, we now have the situation here. We will do both. We cannot change. I will not go to a company who has invested time and money to pay a trainer, to pay a trainee or whatever, and then tell him, okay, now you train them very well, they can go to Germany and work there. That wouldn't make sense. This is why we go parallel. We go this way, and the other way is we try to find young people to go for a training to Germany or Kenyan skilled. He studied his German and he goes to Germany and he trains from scratch for this profession. And then he will be done and he can stay there and work there. Therefore, I would like to finish with my own personal vision for the future. And this would never be a brain drain because 1 million young Kenyans come into the labor market every year. Let them go to Germany. Let them be trained there. Let them work there. They will gather experience. They will get some money. And many of them, I know Kenyans don't see the money to build their own companies in Kenya. And my dream is actually use this treasure trove called Shuakali sector, hire these guys, give them the opportunity to train. And this would be something that would be the perfect thing for someone having lived, been trained in Kenya, coming back and help the country go back. Okay, that's all from
So much me, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I think we would like to appreciate. I want to transition to the next panel discussion, and this is an exciting one. Now we have already left Kenya, we have already gotten into Germany. We want to talk a little more about integration.
Thank you so much. We will move into this discussion right away without taking much time. And our focus is going to be on integration in Germany. I think we have discussed a lot of the transitions that are going to take place, but one of the key factors to look at will be the integration. There are various aspects we have to look at, whether it is language, whether it is, this is supposed to be presented by the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, represented by Ambassador Isaiah Kabira, the Secretary Savings, Skills and Entrepreneurship, to take us through the first session. So karibu sana. A round of applause for him.
Thank you, Madam Morenga. I'm here on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. As you heard earlier today, our PS for Diaspora, Ms. Roslyn Jogu, was very instrumental in the signing of this agreement. Sincere apologies. She's currently in New York, where she'll be announcing more new goodies for Kenyans by the end of the day. So await that news. But in absence, she has recorded a video message that I request you to please. It's a very short video message. If the technical team, you can bring up that video. Asante. Technical team.
you so much for inviting me to this wonderful event. And I'm sorry that I couldn't make it in person. But I want to thank you all for putting together this wonderful fair and conference. We can on immigrant migration and mobility partnership between the two wonderful countries. Make sure that the promise of this agreement bears fruit for both our people, for the German communities and for the Kenyan communities. So let me start by thanking you for putting together and for bringing together the various actors who work in this place. I specifically chef here, West Africa or Africa, the Goethe Institute, the pride in ways that we haven't done before. That implementation is going to see generations of change between our two countries. Villages called Konjenga to deepen people-to-people relationships. But I'm supposed to speak to you about integration in Germany. Once you become our diaspora and once Kenyans land in Germany, should you know, that journey ought to start here. Prepare yourself to integrate and to do graduation that we hear about. Or what is this verse that we hear about? Try to figure out what the foods are and what it is that makes the German society behave as it does. And having landed on the other side, there are a number of ways to ensure that you're successful. So please committed to its mandate to protect the rights and welfare of Kenyans, but also to mainstream involvement of diasporans into the process of national development back home, through all the things that are going on, but also so that you can learn of what opportunities exist that you can take advantage of. You'll be able to find that our embassy in Berlin remains committed as well to our diaspora, and that will be your touch point with us and with home. We cannot overemphasize the importance of joining communities, whether it be a faith community or any other kind of association, to ensure that you thrive. And you do. Finally, I want to let you know that we're here to support you and we continue to work closely with the government of the Federal Republic of Germany to ensure that this project not just thrives, is not just successful, also that the different beneficiaries of this project. I want to wish you wonderful deliberations. Auf Wiedersehen.
State Department for Diaspora. The chief advice that we give to Kenyans seeking to travel to Germany or any other country is the need to do your research. Get as much information as possible. No one is going to give you this information on a silver platter. It's free, it's on the internet. Equip yourself. And also, we like to teach you about the essence of patience. As you were told by that young man, it doesn't matter, but please, we appeal to you for patience. We're also happy that we are working with the Kenyan so enhancing their capacity to process visas. We'll continue making an appeal to them because we know that the visa, the passport, those are all your tickets to Germany. So we want to wish you all the very best. And we say thank you very much to the organizers. And thank you very much, PS Moria, for all. Anteni sana. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And as we continue on the topic of integration, a round of applause for her as she makes her way to the stage. A round of applause for her as she makes her way to care, health, recruitment. A round of applause for him. You okay? All right, so we will get deep into this discussion on invitation to Germany, and I have a panel of experts here bringing various experiences based on where they sit and what they do in their respective organizations, which will be very important for us to be able to interact with them, to get to hear what is it that they do and how do they. Given the importance of language, because I think everybody has spoken here today about the importance of language in integration, what programs does Goethe Institute offer to prepare migrants?
Hello, hello. So preparation, pre-departure training, as has been named beforehand, is so crucial because the people, the workers, and also the apprentices have to be established and supplied with the best information and valid information as good as possible. We at Goethe Institute, we started a pre-departure training under the funded by the European Union, luckily, and so all of our offerings in the realm of that program are for free. So we offer to any interested Kenyan, we offer private consultations, so people can also reach out to our counselors in private and ask all the questions that they might not want to. Training events on different topics with all our cooperation partners. For example, AHK, Bruno, who was just speaking, the German delegation chamber for commerce, we did, for example, trainings on application. How do I present in a job interview? How do I even find a job? How do I navigate all these different job portals? For example, for the job seeking agency in Germany. How do I present in an interview? How do I write a CV according to the German standards? We had the German embassy giving information talks about all the realms of visa, different kinds of visa are available, and so on and so forth. We do not all these services within Nairobi. 5,000 people on our emailing list who are interested in all the information that we are providing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very impressive. In terms of sectors, one of the sectors, of course, that is very key is the healthcare sector. And I want to bring in Ruben. What is the current situation in the healthcare sector in Germany? What are some of the challenges perhaps the sector is facing? And what do you do as an organization?
I think that's for me, right?
Yes.
So first, thanks Gideon for having me. And also it's my first time to Kenya and Nairobi. I must say I love it. So thanks for also hosting me in your country. German healthcare environment is under stress. So in my own words, or in a nutshell, if two words describe it the best, there's an excess demand, right? We need skilled healthcare workers, nurses, certified nurses. So talking numbers, we are currently having a lack of around 400,000 skilled nurses in Germany. And this number is supposed to grow and increase over the next 10 years for another 100,000. So we will have beyond 2030 face a lack of more than 500,000 of skilled nurses in Germany to provide care to the persons that need it most, which is the critically ill person and of course our senior people. And we heard it this morning from the ambassador, which is a growing amount or number of people in Germany because we have an aging population. And this is not only numbers and statistics, you can feel it if you live in the country from a day-to-day basis. So some examples. For safeguarding a spot in an elderly home are significantly increasing. So a lot of old people don't have a home finally where they're getting taken care of in some of these senior living residencies. The other part is that although the demand for interventions and procedures is increasing, we do see a lot of close downs of hospital wards. Main driver behind this is the lack of nurses. It's not the demand side. And then also waiting lists for surgical procedures that are not life-threatening. So something like knee surgery, hip surgery, there are significant waiting times. 6 or 7 months waiting for surgery is the new normal. I think this describes it all best. So this system is under stress. Main topic and main driver behind this is a lack of nursing staff around, and yeah, difficult times.
Quite interesting. And speaking about the challenges, are there unique challenges specific to women? And I want to bring in the Kenya women. Jacqueline, are there specific challenges to women? And what do you do as an organization to support them?
Thank you very much, Gideon, for having me here on this panel. Yeah, I'm Jacqueline of Kenyan Women in Germany. And I'm happy to have some of our members also here who might be of help later when we get out. Lydia, thank you. So these challenges, let me not just talk about women, but also migrants in general, because these are challenges that all Kenyans or all migrants are facing. But before they come to these challenges, we've been talking about the pre-boarding and their agencies, both here and in Kenya, both here and in Germany. First of all, I would like to urge the agencies, please, first of all, we are not a recruiting agency, but I would like to urge them, work together. And when you are putting these things on the table, bring in the diasporas so that they help you. These are the people who know what is happening on the ground, because kwa ground vitu tofauti. There could be an agent in Germany who is just out for their own good, but we have Kenyan diaspora organizations, GANF, name them, Quig, Kenyan nurses, bring them on board, sit with them on the same table. But there's something that was also not mentioned, what migrants are facing right now. The climate, the political climate right now in Germany is not favoring the migrants. The discrimination, the racism, that was not mentioned. These are things that we really have to look into. And to the agencies, when you are sending our people from here, please, why should we be on the table as diasporans? There are states that this skin is not seen, is not wanted. So the amount of racism that is happening right now, the wave is high, and we have to look into that. These are things that really have to be put on the table. Let's have an open discussion about that. Let's not just do the posting for the sake of posting. No, let us also check on the welfare of these people that we are posting over there. And host events, we help in the social and economical integration. How do we do this? We invite developers, we invite not communities, we invite organizations or employers or industries over there, wherever we host an event, because to contribute in the economical development in Germany, but also back home. So we get these Zoom links, or they are there physically, so that we can be educated. And there's something very small about the cultural integration, the shocks that people get in the very first beginning. We might take it light. We might take it as a Wurstbrot. That is the Käsebrot, the dinner. We are used to meals, like 3 meals. When I left this place, I was used to 3 meals a day, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You come over there, dinner is bread and cheese. So these are some of the small things, nitty-gritty things that people have to be well educated into. Yeah. And yeah, I will answer more as time goes by. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very, very impressive that things like dinner, expectation management, there is what you are used to. You're used to, even when it comes to things like greetings. In some of the communities here, when you make a call, you ask, how is the chicken, the cows doing, before you complete the greeting. But when you transition to that one, things are a little bit different. And we talk about pre-departure services. I want to bring in Sharon. What are you doing as IOM in terms of pre-departure services to support migrants so that there's a smooth transition or integration for them when they move to the other side?
Thank you very much, Gideon, for having me. Hamjambo, can you hear me? Fantastic. My name is Diman Sharon, as you've heard, from IOM. IOM is a UN migration agency. And perhaps for the sake of context, just for you to get to understand, our mandate aims to ensure that we look at safe, orderly, and responsible migration for the benefit of migrants, their families, communities, and societies where they live. And what we do mainly, we have 3 main strategic priorities. 1, saving lives and protecting people on the move. And 2, driving solutions to displacement. And 3, facilitating pathways for regular migration. And this is the subject of our conversation this afternoon. Now, why are we looking at facilitating regular pathways? Because if we don't create opportunities for regular pathways, then we are going to see more irregular migration, unsafe migration that brings more risks, exploitation, and abuse. If I can ask by show of people here, just around here, were born in Nairobi, maybe by show of hands, about say maybe like not more than 6 people, not more than 10 people. What does that mean? You've all come in from your different counties, different regions, different countries. For what reason? Either for work, for so many reasons, and all those contribute to development. Now, what IOM does, we ensure that as you move in a safe way, in a dignified way, in a way that is actually going to benefit you as a migrant, the country where you are going to, and where you're coming from. I wanted to give this context so people get to understand what we do. We do quite a lot as a UN migration agency. You talked about the pre-departure orientation, which is very critical. But I really wanted us to talk more. I had the first session, they were looking at ethical recruitment. And I thought it would be very unfair. We wouldn't give justice to that subject if we don't talk about what IOM does. In IOM, we have what we call IRIS. IRIS is called International Recruitment Integrity System. If you forget anything else, just for IRIS. It is a certification process that ensures transparency in the entire recruitment process. And here we have recruitment agencies that get certified through really, it's a voluntary process for about 2 years. It's like an ISO certification. And then your name is registered somewhere, as you heard from the previous speakers. And when employers are looking for ethical recruiters, they are going to go online within that database and able to get people who are certified as recruiters. And that way, they will comply with the pre-departure orientation because we are going to have people who are trained. IOM has been doing it for the last 70 years. So we have the experience where we train, but again, we work with the private sector and all those different institutions. You heard about some institutions in Germany, which ideally we are looking forward to see how can we work with them to ensure that Kenyans who are going are well prepared. You heard my sister here mention, it's not all rosy. You need to know each and everything. If you're prepared, if you have the right skills, the right knowledge, including the food, just food is basic food, but it's very, very important. And that is what we do. And here we look forward to working with the government to ensure that we actually support.
Thank you. Issues of culture, which have significantly been mentioned in this conversation, and I want to bring in Claudia. How does the understanding of the German culture important for integration, and what are some of the cultural differences?
Well, thank you very much. I just wanted to also give credits to you naming also the challenges. I just divert for like a little second, and I wanted to give you credit for this because this is also what we talk about, of course, with the people who come to us. It's not all rosy. There are also there's benefits, but there are challenges, and we are actually trying to work with a diaspora. The diaspora is key in actually facilitating this whole migration and integration project successfully, because the diasporic Kenyans, they are the ones who can talk to the Kenyans here. They can share their experiences, and they are the experts in how they navigate the life in some rural areas where maybe people are not familiar with foreign more, because the Kenyan diaspora is very crucial for us in that field because they're expert. Lots of Kenyans actually reach out to me and they're like, I went through all of this and I want to pass on my knowledge to my kin at home, how I managed or mastered this and this kind of problems. When it comes to the transcultural trainings, so currently we are training 25 people all over Kenya who are facilitating intercultural workshops. Is not so much that you would say there's the German culture versus the Kenyan culture. This is not complex at all, I find. And lots of these kind of trainings are like do's and don'ts in Germany. And yes, of course, some Germans tend to eat bread and cheese, but the diversity of Germany is so big that this does not apply to it. It depends to whom you're talking to. It depends to where you live. Are your neighbors immigrants? They will not eat bread and cheese in the evening. Ugali most likely, or they will be searching for ugali in the supermarkets and find substitutes and so on and so forth. So this is, for me, it's very important, and it's more about understanding where do I come from, what is my focus world as a Kenyan, what might be my stereotypes about Germans, and how can I actually start to unlearn these stereotypes so I'm actually not manipulated by the stereotypes that were entrenched in me. So that actually, and that is the same thing for me coming out, what are the stereotypes about the African continent that were entrenched in me? Getting rid of them enables me to see people in a much more real way, because there's like no filter in between. So we are much less on a like do's and don'ts, and the Germans are all organized and on time and all of time. I have Kenyan co-workers who are more on time. So I find it very important to get out of these like very qualified people to meet on a much more productive level. And I think it also depends. Are you a farmer from Eldoret? Then you have Kenyans, but they're by their upbringing, by their religion, by their health, and so on and so forth. So I want to actually advocate for having these conversations a bit more skillfully, a bit more finely chiseled, in order to enable the people to, there's so many migrants, the diversity is so high, there's so many religions, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, awesome. And very important, you have talked about the integration, the cultural aspect, which is very key, and given very good examples, especially on the issues of time. We call it the Kenyan time. How then we can be able to learn from adjusting, and it's good that you have recognized that also there are quite a lot of people also within our space that also keep time. So it's not just an aspect of, that everybody does not keep time. Recognizing the recognition of the qualifications in Germany.
Yes, we do. I can only, of course, speak for our company, so IPP Care. So we are operating under the certificate of fair recruitment that is issued by the German Ministry of Health. And how I would describe this best in my own words is taking as much effort and burden off the shoulders of the Kenyan or other healthcare workers that we bring into Germany. And part of that is, of course, that we, together with the future employer, take care of all accreditation, right, and getting the exams right. So we take care of this, yes, because the candidate should really focus on language, right, being able as a good German speaker starting the new job. This is essential. And all the administration, this is something that we will take care together with the German hospitals or German elderly homes.
Awesome. So as we go through the last component, because we don't have much time, just coming back to Jacqueline. On the issue of supporting women,